you've started playing 2 Point Campus with the goal of building the biggest university known to man, then you might want to take advantage of some of these tips that we're going to give you. I just want to start by saying that while it seems that you may have an infinite pool of money when you first take over your campus, that quickly starts to dwindle if you don't budget and prioritize correctly. If you watched our first video on how to succeed early on in the game, then you should have a pretty good idea of what to build first and how to make the most of your space. But to quickly recap, make sure to have your learning resources built and upgraded first. Then look to add the personal hygiene and comfort rooms like bedrooms, bathrooms, and shower rooms. Then finish it all off with the additional learning buildings like a library or a private tuition room. Once all of these are built, you can then allow the campus to slowly start making you money. It's important to keep upgrading this building as you go, otherwise people will start to have a ton of requests and become unhappy that they're not met. But what you don't want to do is go overboard with these upgrades. As you can see here, I made this exact mistake and suffered from it, as I couldn't fully finish my second campus building. What I should have done is build the first one and allow it to make me a good amount of money before I bought the next plot of land. To quickly explain how that works, in the bottom left hand corner of your screen you have the Management View button, which allows you to take an eagle eye look at all of your plots. Then if you want to, you can buy new plots to expand your university. It kind of goes without saying, but these extra plots cost a lot. So you need to have a good buffer of money in the bank before you build them, otherwise they're just going to sit there empty and not make you any money back, like mine did here. So the option for expansion is there right away, and in theory you could have 6 buildings at the start of each new area, but undoubtedly the quickest way to actually expand in the long run is to fully spec out each building as you go. I would even say that if you allow your first building to make you a load of money, you can then expand pretty quickly in one go and not have to worry about the finances. It all sounds fairly simple, but believe me from experience, it's tempting to expand too quickly. All this does is stagnate your campus and lower your performance as students don't have the right facilities to learn and pass their exams. If the students aren't performing and they're not enjoying themselves, they're simply just gonna leave, which will have a huge impact on your revenue, so it's important to set up the first campus building correctly and let it flourish first. Then you can look to quickly expand after a little while of earning money from that one. Another thing to note is that you'll want to be picking courses that have a higher tuition fee. For example, out of the 3 courses on offer here, Funny Business makes you the least amount of money with $6,000 in average tuition fees, whereas Scientography will make you $9,000 on average. This extra cash throughout the year will be vital in the early development of your campus, so be sure to pick the more costly courses in your initial building before you start throwing out other courses for the students to experiment with. If you ever want to know what sort of financial gain you're making from the buildings that you've created so far, you can always look in the bottom right hand corner at the yearly estimated profit loss figures. This gives you a good indication of whether or not you've made good financial decisions up to this point. As you can see, mine is currently predicting around $200,000 in profit over the next year, meaning that all I have to do is sit back and watch that roll in before vastly expanding next semester. The idea of this game is to start slow and then rapidly expand once you've laid the foundations. So just remember not to go crazy at the start and instead think about the decisions that you're making and how they will allow you to rapidly grow in a couple of years' time. If this tutorial helped you, then why not watch another? I've even put it on screen for you to click through to now.